URC quarterfinals, folks. 3 wins for the home teams. Slightly different margins. Just putting it out there. But yeah, we'll go through some key event stats and you guys can let me know your thoughts. I only really had time to watch one game properly in full. I wasn't sure which one to watch, so I didn't know the results. I opened the page on my phone, which I knew had the results, and gave the phone to my wife and said, pick the one which has got the closest score. And she picked the Bulls and the Sharks. So I'm glad I watched this one in full. It was a proper tit-for-tat, back and forward game. And really a game of lots of momentum swings, to be honest. That was really, really the deal with this one. The Sharks were the team with all the momentum at the start of the game. They get a penalty from a scrum. They're knocking on the door. They do concede the first try, though, from an intercept by the Bulls. Bulls get the intercept, a little dink through for Tumbwe, and he manages to go over for the first try. So that's a bit of a momentum shifter, that one, because it's maybe like a 14-pointer with all the pressure the Bulls guys were under. But then the Bulls muck up the restart and give the Sharks back points anyway. So it's almost like, well, you gave us one, so we'll give you one. 7 points to 10 kind of early on. Bulls get a penalty given to them after the Sharks are pinged at the breakdown, but there's a weird moment where Forster shoves Mapimpi off the ball or off him or something like that, and then the ref's like, well, he's instigating it. And I was like, okay. Usually when guys get a bit argy-bargy, the refs reverse penalties and stuff, but he wasn't having any of that, which was, I don't know, maybe I missed something that happened off the ball. So yeah, 10 points apiece, and then before halftime it's 13 points apiece. So there's not much separating the two teams, which is what you want in a knockout game of rugby. Bulls extended their lead in the second half, heaps of pressure. Marcel Coetzee is the beneficiary of that. Not many teams would have been able to live with the Bulls. And then Hendricks gets the next one. Not Hendricks, he plays for the other team. Hendricks gets one. It's again more pressure. Werner Koch is made to look a little bit silly on defence, but I mean, they had numbers, the Bulls. So yeah, 27-13. The Bulls are looking as comfortable as either side has looked at any point during the game. But Sharks were not done. Mapimpi in the build-up to the Hendricks try. Looking pretty good. I mean, him and Lekanyuam have got a kind of crazy telepathic relationship anyway. But I mean, even on his own, Mapimpi will still, step guys and make them look silly as well. So 27-20's game on. And then a load of Sharks pressure in the final 10 minutes leads to Notcher going over pretty wide. So it's a big conversion for BULvSHA to try and kick. But he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it under pressure. So big conversion, 27 points apiece, 5 minutes less to go. Sharks put on more pressure. Bulls get a turnover on their own line. Sharks small defense holds the Bulls out not long later. But eventually, 4 minutes odd, past the clock going into the red, Chris Smith slots a pretty straightforward drop goal, but it's never that straightforward given the situation and what's on the line and the time on the clock. So an absolute clutch droppy sends the Bulls through to the semi-finals. What a game. Cracking stuff. The Sharks have more run meters, 326 to 180. The Bulls controlled things with the boot a bit more, 24 kicks to 10. Clean breaks is 3 apiece. Sharks turnovers conceded 18-11 is pretty costly for them. Mapimpi makes 88 run meters, a clean break, and 6 defenders beaten. Dutoy makes 16 from 17 tackles from the Sharks, but for the Bulls, Marcel Coetzee, along with his try, 11 tackles out of 13. Moody, he's the one who got the intercept for the Bulls' initial try. How crucial was that in the scheme of things? He gets a clean break, a couple of defenders beaten as well. So, yeah, man, the Sharks season is done. And the Bulls go away to Leinster in their game. Speaking of Leinster, this is a knockout game, guys. It's not supposed to be 76-14. This is supposed to be the best of the best. Goodness gracious. I think Leinster maybe got a bit of anger issues after their Champions Cup defeat, because boy, did they make Glasgow pay for it. Bloody hell. Believe it or not, Glasgow actually led this game with an early try through Xander Fagerson. But Glasgow give away a yellow card when Richie Gray clatters into Jameson Gibson Park, and then bang, bang, bang. Leinster just start their try-scoring run. I mean, Sheehan gets one, Lama gets one, McCarthy gets one at the end of the yellow card. So suddenly it's 21-7. They did have to double check the McCarthy one because the ball had kind of been dislodged, but the referee was happy it dislodged backwards and he regathered it. So it's one of those ones that looks awkward, but it's still given. And then, I mean, Sheen gets another one before half-time. Regular service resumes in the second half with Doris going over. Glasgow get another yellow card with another deliberate knock-on. It's more tries. Who else gets on the board? Oh, Alatoa, Jessica's back. Ringrose, Frawley, McGrath, Jimmy O'Brien. I mean, Lama was just embarrassing people, wasn't he? He looks mad to have not been... I know he's only come back from injury really recently, but not be getting more game time, not appearing in the Champions Cup, man. Like, he was just... It was like sometimes when you see that one... At junior rugby, when you see that one kid who's just learnt to run a bit more faster and elusively than anybody else, it was just like that. He was just embarrassing the Glasgow guys at times. I mean, Glasgow, to their credit, did get one back through Horn on 60, but it was just relentless stuff from Leinster. So, yeah, fingers crossed for the Bulls and for the semi-final that they've got that kind of anger out of their system and that we'll get a closer game in the semi, because 76-14, as nice as that is for Leinster fans, it's kind of hard to find a lot of joy for that when it's a quarter-final. So, you know what I mean? I think it's a good look for the competition. But what can I say? Leinster are a hell of a team. So, yeah, look out whoever goes to visit them. Next is the Bulls. Run meters 665 to 315. Clean breaks 9 to 2. Possession almost 60-40. Tries 12 to 2. Dempsey makes 10 from 13 tackles, 91 run meters and 3 defenders beaten. And a team which didn't have that much to shout about. But 91 run meters for a loose forward when your team had 300 is not too bad. Lama, 2 tries, 2 assists, 128 run meters, 4 clean breaks, 7 defenders beaten. That's nuts. Doris, 51 run meters, 3 defenders beaten, 12 from 13 tackles. Also not bad. So, yeah, Leinster are still the team to beat in the URC. That's probably never been in doubt and never more sure than when you've seen them just put 76 points on in the quarterfinal. The last game, the Stormers in Edinburgh. The Stormers managed to get this one done as well. This one, pretty tight first half, but the Stormers have a bit too much for the Edinburgh boys in the second. There's also some kind of weird tries in this one as well. Like the first try is a bit of a gift for Gallant, right? I mean, Gallant kind of blows one later on. But the first one's a bit of a gift in that Diamani makes a big line break. He offloads, I think, to Kinghorn by mistake. And then Kinghorn decides to give it back to the Stormers, so Gallant's able to go over. So it's kind of madness stuff. 7 points to 0 for the Stormers. Edinburgh do manage to pinch a penalty back, but the Stormers get one. And then Edinburgh's maul leads to Dave Cherry going over to make it 10 points apiece. And that's the halftime score. I mean, to be fair, Gallant should have been able to set one up prior to halftime. When Libok puts in up and under, the Edinburgh guys make a bit of a hash of it, and then Gallant's just steaming along. He backs his pace, but Boffelli just gets the ankle tap, and then I think it's Darcy Graham's got the presence of mind to be there for the offload from the ground. So, yeah, it's a try saver. Like, it's a cool moment to watch, but the Stormers should have scored there. The Stormers really, really should have scored that one. So, yeah, Edinburgh get a yellow card before half-time. That continues on into the second. The Stormers do manage to get a bit of that clinical edge in the second half when Nell gets a try set up through Sinatla, and Rus gets one as well. That one, I mean, that guy he's such a unit. That one's another bit of a weird try where it's like Watson kind of knocks it back from the ground. Like, it looks like a knock-on first viewing, but then when the TMO breaks things down frame by frame, you can see that the hands that knocked it was a Edinburgh hand, so it's a given try. It's 25 points to 10. At that point, the Edinburgh guys do manage to get one back through Purgos to at least bring the game back to maybe game on if they can get one more score. But the next try is the next score is Libok with the penalty, and that's pretty much the game. So yeah, it seems to not really have any scoring late on in the game. The Edinburgh guys not able to crack it, and the Stormers guys just comfortable without being 76-14 up, managed to kind of see the game out. So I still feel like the Stormers have got another gear in them, and they might need it against Ulster in their semi-final. It's going to be 2 South African teams against 2 Irish teams in the semi, which will be interesting. But 438 to 268 was the run meters to the Stormers. The Stormers had less position but more territory, or more than double the clean breaks, 9 to 4. They made a lot more tackles, 150 to 90, but they tackled at 85%. Edinburgh's at 80, which is pretty low. Not going to win you many knockout games. Ivan Rus, like I mentioned, 84 run meters, 3 clean breaks, 3 defenders beaten, 20 from 20 tackles. What more do you want from that guy? Plus a try. He's brutal, that man. Zas has 7 defenders beaten. Hamish Watson makes 12 from 12, but doesn't do much ball in hand. Boffelli, 75 meters, 3 clean breaks, and a defender beaten. But all for naught for the Edinburgh guys. Their season is done. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. We look forward to the 2 semi-finals next week. Is it still Stormers Leinster final that's looking the most likely? Potentially yes, but Ulster and the Bulls will certainly have something to say about it. You guys let me know your thoughts on the games, any other kind of key moments or players that impressed, decisions that didn't have you too pleased. You guys let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.